like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Ooh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of a Funko podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's edition, we got quite a bit of Funko Pops, actually, which is a good reason of why we did the All Yu-Gi-Oh podcast last week, which if you haven't listened to it yet, little suggestion thingy above, in which we had talked about all 5 seasons last week, plus the Funko Pops involved in the Yu-Gi-Oh lineup, which I found it to be very, very successful, in my opinion. I thought it was very awesome. A lot of people replied to it, a lot of good things. And we will be announcing the podcast schedule for the month of May later on, which will involve another one of these kind of podcasts where we talk about either a movie or a TV show, which later on we'll discuss what it is. Plus, we got our usual couple of segments, and then obviously the Funko Pop announcements that go from April 9th all the way until today as we record this, which is April 22nd. We'll kick off now with our segment that we like to call Quentin Quarantino, where we talk about exactly what movies, TV shows, video games we've been doing during this pandemic throughout the past week or two. So, MD, what have you been doing?
Not a whole lot actually. I've been playing with a lot of Legos, which is pretty cool. I've been ordering a lot of Lego as well. I'm trying to do a mock, which if you guys don't know, mock means my own creation of my actual restaurant, my workplace that I work at, because I haven't been there for a while, obviously, because of this quarantine. So it's cool to kind of reminisce on what it looks like and kind of recreate it. Also, I just finished the episodes of Dave that are out so far. If you don't know what Dave is, it's a show based on how Little Dicky, the rapper, kind of came up in the rap industry. And it's a really funny, good show with a lot of cool cameos from a bunch of huge celebrities.
Basically, what I've been doing is exactly what I had said 2 weeks ago on the podcast that I would be doing. So after I had finished Yu-Gi-Oh, I had watched the remaining episodes I needed to see of BoJack Horseman, which it was all right. And then I watched the Big Show. I watched all 8 episodes. I seen kind of the scene where you mentioned about the Funko Pops in.
Yeah.
The ending was pretty good also.
Yeah, really, really cool show. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to make a season 2. I feel like it will, considering that it also, at least in Canada, was in the top 10 for a couple of weeks because Netflix has that like top 10 list now.
Yeah. Also, another movie that I actually watched last night was, I believe it's called The Main Event. Have you seen that?
Oh, that's right. Actually did see that. That's the WWE movie. Yeah, I seen that. I think a couple days after I seen the Big Show.
So you did watch it, yeah?
Yeah, I seen it. And
Yeah, okay.
then what else did I see? There's something else I seen. I actually been watching. I forgot to mention last week on our Yu-Gi-Oh podcast, which is Yu-Gi-Oh related for what I'm about to say, is these videos of the Yu-Gi-Oh like tournaments that they host every year, in which they have a duel where 2 people are dueling as like Yugi and Kaiba, and then the voice actors who actually voiced Yugi and Kaiba actually kind of do voiceover of what each card is being played as it's going on. So it's almost like it's a live duel between Yugi and Kaiba, which is just so entertaining to watch. And it's just so cool to see. I've seen a couple also where it's like Kaiba and Joey. I think that's the only ones I've seen. Usually they do Yugi and Kaiba, and then I've seen a Joey and Kaiba one. I haven't seen anyone else.
I was going to say that I watched the one that you sent me, and it was surprising the amount of hate that I seen in the comments actually on them, because people were saying like, oh, this is totally rigged, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, it is. It's like a show. It's not supposed to be a real duel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cards are stacked so that the voice actors know what's going to be pulled and exactly like what effect it has on each card.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I also started watching Ozark. I am 4 episodes in, I'm pretty sure. I was going to watch a couple more like yesterday, but I was busy doing some YouTube related things, especially getting prepared for one of our upcoming podcasts, which is very super exciting for us. in which we will discuss when we mention about the podcast schedule near the end of the podcast. But yeah, that's about it for me. We'll move on now to our ongoing, I would say, pandemic news related stuff, which had a different name before, but we are officially renaming it Pandem News, in which I didn't get to write down anything from last week or the week before, which would have happened during like when we did the Yu-Gi-Oh podcast, because we didn't mention anything from that. In which a couple things I could remember, though, if you don't want to hear this kind of stuff, we have a timestamp in the description below, which basically you can skip this segment and then move on to what would be our Funko Pop announcements if you want. But if you just want to, sit around, listen to this, it's all good. What I remember from last week, we did surpass 2 million cases. The state of Florida had actually announced WWE as an essential workplace, which I feel it's kind of has to do with a mix of how WWE knows the president of the United States well, considering
Fair enough.
Donald Trump was doing some stuff in WWE and is also a Hall of Famer. So
Yeah.
that might be something, but there's also things going around where supposedly WWE actually got named an essential business because they bribed the state of Florida $18 million to do so.
Is that why they had to let go so many wrestlers? Because they spent $18 to become essential? Or 18 million?
And then the other thing was like our prime minister in Canada, Justin Trudeau, basically he had stated, last weekend was Easter, and he had basically said that no one go to your family's places to have Easter. And then now Justin Trudeau has a lot of heat on him because of the fact that he just did that, where he flew out to, I think it was Newfoundland, I'm pretty sure, and he spent Easter with his family. Like he brought his like 3 kids, I think it is, and his wife. They flew over to Newfoundland with their family. And then yet at the same time, there was actually a group, I think it was less than what Justin Trudeau had. It was like 2 kids and their dad rollerblading somewhere near us, actually. And they got fined $800 by the Ontario government because, you're technically not supposed to be out rollerblading in parks and stuff. But yet Justin Trudeau can go out with his family and do all that, which I kind of find bullcrap in my opinion.
Yeah, so do I, especially when it's just something like rollerblading down like a park. Like I can understand what they're saying, but as long as you're not like touching like the equipment on like the swings and stuff, because like all that like playgrounds are off limits totally. But when you're just rollerblading down tarmac with you and a couple of your kids who are living in the same house anyways, you're not going to be coming in contact with anybody. I think that's perfectly fine. I was going to go for a bike ride this morning, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't want to get fined for going on a bike ride. That's kind of, yeah, like you said, bullcrap.
And then, yeah, that was it for that. But our official Pandem news begins on April 16th, which was a Thursday. 22 million people in the US filed for unemployment in the last month, and the United Kingdom has surpassed 100,000 cases. Friday, April 17th, the US surpasses 700,000 cases, 2.2 million cases confirmed worldwide, and a huge announcement that was made, and I'm sure that maybe you have something to say about it, is that for the first time since its inception 50 years ago, San Diego Comic-Con has been canceled.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, it really sucks. There was so much, like, not just with Comic-Con, but there were so many things that I wanted to do and had planned out for this summer, and it's all gone to crap, and it really sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure that Funko is going to have their 3rd virtual con because I know for a fact, they definitely probably have SDCC and especially NYCC planned already for their exclusives. So like
Yeah, 100%.
Like whether the convention was canceled or not, they're still going to release them in some sort of way. So Saturday, April 18th, 2.3 million cases confirmed worldwide. And it was announced that the closure of the Canada-US border has been extended for another 30 days. Sunday, April 19th, 2.4 million cases confirmed worldwide. And the province of British Columbia had enabled police to issue $2,000 fines for price gougers. Monday, April 20th, Spain surpasses 200,000 cases, and several states down south in the United States have announced that they'll be reopening some stores as early as next week. Tuesday, April 21st, 2.5 million cases confirmed worldwide. U.S. surpasses 800,000 cases. Germany has canceled Oktoberfest, and Donald Trump had announced that he will sign an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration to the United States. And then today, Wednesday, April 22nd, as we record this, 2.6 million cases confirmed. And our Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, announces $9 billion financial aid for students who are suffering from the pandemic. All right, so now we are moving on to the Funko Pop announcements for the last couple of weeks, which right now on your screen, you will see a total of 6, I'm pretty sure, on your screen. No, it's actually 9. So the first one we'll talk about, which was announced on April 9th, another MLB pop that got announced, which is a pop of Nola from the Philadelphia Phillies, in which this will be available at the Philadelphia Phillies versus Miami Marlins game that happens on September 6th. It is unknown because it didn't say on the official Philadelphia Phillies website on whether this pop is limited or given out to the first however many people, but it will happen September 6th during that game. Then Funko confirmed on the Funko app of the pops featured in March 2020's Marvel Collectors Corp box, which was the Infinity Saga, I think that's what it was called, in which the pops featured were 2 glow-in-the-dark pops. One is a Star-Lord with Power Stone from Guardians of the Galaxy, and the other pop is Black Panther. This was available through Amazon, in which the box at the moment is no longer available, but should be back up within the next month or two, I believe. Then on April 17th, Funko had announced pops for the upcoming, I think it's Disney Plus film, Artemis Fowl, in which we have first single pops of Mulch Diggums, Holly Short, Artemis Fowl with a 1 in 6 chase, which basically is just him with glasses. There is also a Barnes & Noble 3-pack of the commons put together in a 3-pack, which not surprising. There's also going to be a metallic version of Holly Short, which will be a Books A Million exclusive. These are expected to be released as early as May 2020. Then on the same day, on April 17th, is a metallic variant of the first appearance Spiderman, which is a Hot Topic exclusive, in which that is available now through the Hot Topic website. And then the last 2 pops for right now, announced April 19th. Target released a bunch of different Star Wars Funko Pops, in which the 2 brand new ones that weren't previously announced, which are a Futura Jawa, and we have ourselves, for the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary lineup, a 10-inch variant of Boba Fett. So starting off with the Nola pop, in which I think this is a pretty detailed pop, honestly. I don't remember seeing any baseball pops kind of looking like this, to be honest. Maybe there's 1 or 2, but there's not really many baseball pops that actually like go and throw a baseball. This is kind of cool for what it looks like right now. It's at that midpoint between concept art and a glam shot. The glow-in-the-dark pops for the Marvel Collectors Corp box, the Star-Lord looks really, really cool, especially both not glow-in-the-dark and glow-in-the-dark, because I love the whole like veiny effect along with Star-Lord, and then kind of like the smoke effect that's going around Star-Lord. And even it glow in the dark looks really cool because the purple glows really well in the dark, especially like the veiny effect glows very nicely. The eyes are also purple, which is also really cool. He's even got some like scuff marks around its face, so that's really cool. The Black Panther, that's all right. I mean, I find the Star-Lord one to be better just because there's a little bit more detail when it comes to the glow in the dark factor, but Black Panther does have a detailed outfit when it's not glow in the dark. I feel like for this pop, it was kind of unnecessary for that glow in the dark effect. But once again, the purple effect is really nice when it comes to this pop. Artemis Fowl, I never heard of this Disney movie, or I don't remember it even getting announced, but I think, like I said, it's going to go to Disney Plus, and I think it's in June that it's going in Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken. Some of these characters look really cool. Mulch Diggums looks very cool with his kind of like goggles, how they're kind of flipped up and stuff. And even his outfit and his beard is very nice. Holly Short is also got some very cool detail within like the top of her like helmet, along with the wingspan that she's got going on. That's really detailed. And then Artemis Fowl, not a good chase. I'm sorry, Funko, but that's not really a good chase. I don't know if it's got some sort of importance through the movie involving those glasses, or it's just, all right, we're going to make a chase and it's going to end up being him with glasses. The common has this kind of what looks to be some sort of container with like some sort of egg in it. But then you got the chase, which is just, a normal Funko Pop stance from like 2013, 2014 with the arms to the side. And it's just wearing these glasses, which once again, I don't know if it's some sort of significance to the movie by a lot where it's all like, oh my God, this is a great chase. Because obviously, the movie's not out yet. So I can't really determine on something like that. But as of right now, I'm not a fan of the chase. Yeah. And then the 3-pack, like why Funko do you keep making 3-packs where it's essentially commons and you just put them in a 3-pack and make them a Barnes and Noble exclusive? I mean, maybe it's like what, $5 cheaper, but other than that, yeah. The metallic looks really nice on the Books A Million exclusive Holly Short, especially in the green outfit. That's where you can see it the most. Looks really nice. The metallic Spider-Man actually looks a bit nicer than the original first appearance Spider-Man that was made. The one thing I do notice, though, is that on the original one, there was like a blue part of his attire going on in the original one, but now it's just all black, which kind of looks nicer, honestly. And then the way that the mask looked, especially with like the detail of the spider webs, also really nice. Just overall, it's a really nice pop in this metallic form. Then we go on to the Jawa, which I think this may be my favorite Futura pop, just because I like the way that this camouflage looks. I can't really think off the top of my head for some reason now on what the other ones looked like. I know that the C-3PO kind of looked like one of the jelly beans from Bean Boozled, but overall, I like this camouflage outfit of Jawa. Looks pretty cool. And then the 10-inch Boba Fett looks wicked. I love the way that this Boba Fett looks, especially with the kind of detail going on where part of his mask is kind of like maybe the paint's falling off, the red paint's falling off, and you can see kind of like the silver to the mask. And there's even a dent on the helmet where maybe someone would have tried using like a bullet to shoot him and then just like kind of indented and not went through all the way. That's really cool. And then the colors used, obviously, for Boba Fett, really nice. I think I would get this pop if it was a 4-inch rather than a 10-inch, but I will give the 10-inch credit because of the fact that 10-inch pops just bring out detail more than a 4-inch pop would.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start there with the Boba Fett because I kind of have a story behind it. The way I found out about this pop, I woke up the morning it was announced, and one of the waitresses from my work, her husband actually messaged me and he said, "Hey, this just got announced today." He goes, "I need to buy this. Where can I find it? Send me some links." And I was like, just rolling out of bed, so disoriented, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't even know anything about this pop yet." So I kind of looked at the photo. I'm like, okay, it's a Target exclusive. And then I thought, like, wow, this is really cool. And I knew that he would want this because I know he collects a lot of Star Wars stuff, more specifically Boba Fett and like Mandalorians themselves. So I knew he'd want this, and I thought it was kind of funny that he messaged me. And I didn't end up really giving him a good answer. I sent him some links, but he was like, they're not there. So I kind of told him, like, you're going to have to wait. Like, these just got announced. Even if they are on shelves now, like, a lot of websites aren't going to have them yet until people go and kind of get them. I think it's great. I definitely do want this figure. And one thing that I thought was funny that you said about the dent on his head is that you said it would be a bullet, where there's no bullets in the Star Wars universe.
Hot, that's true.
But yeah, great pop. It looks super cool. I do plan on getting that. I really hope that will be my third 10-inch pop because I'm in love with that pop. I think it's wicked. I love Boba Fett as well.
And now as I realize, technically, this might actually hit up Toys R Us because a lot of Target exclusives will hit up Toys R Us. So even if you order it online from Toys R Us, that might work out. Target exclusives to get from the Target website are a little pricey. It's like ordering from Hot Topic and Box Lunch where it's like 30 Canadian to get it shipped. So, I mean, the best bet is Toys R Us.
Yeah, and Toys R Us in Canada now, they are closed, right? They're not an essential service.
They're closed, but I think they're doing curbside pickup. So like if you order it and it ships to the store and then you call like the number and say, hey, I have a thing. And then I guess actually they'll do the whole thing. Like I think, what is it? Michael's does where have your trunk open and they'll put your stuff in your trunk for you, so you don't have to get out of your car.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good idea because obviously, like, some people might think that's stupid. They're like, oh, toys, they're not an essential service. But at the same time, if you have kids, kids eventually do get bored of their old toys. And could you imagine having 3 kids or more in this pandemic right now and like needing to keep them entertained, like, because they're not going to school? Like, they're going to need new toys. It makes sense for them to kind of keep some kind of service open during this time. So I'm glad to hear that.
Literally, when you were mentioning about, oh, well, they need new toys, I thought of the scene from Toy Story 3 when they arrive to the daycare and then like they fall out of the box, and then like you have like the octopus character and he's like, new toys, and there's just this huge excitement.
Yeah, that's funny. So moving on to the future Jawa, this is really cool. What this reminds me of actually is this. You guys won't be able to see it, but I can show you through the chat. This is one of my vapes here, and it has like almost the exact same pattern on it that the Jawa does. So it's kind of funny to see that kind of pattern. And I know that they do make a camo one, so I could totally do like a cool photo shoot if I got this pop. And I think it's really cool, actually. I might get this. I love the Jawas in the Star Wars franchise, and I don't think I actually have one in my collection. So this one might be the one that I end up getting because I think it is really cool. Then we have this metallic Spider-Man. I think this is wicked. And yeah, I agree with you. Just going all black looks really cool. It really reminds me of my dad's tattoo of Spider-Man that he has. My dad's isn't colored red, but it's pretty much the same pose and like black ink, so it looks just like it. And I really do like this Spider-Man. I might end up picking this up. Then we have the Artemis Fowl pops. I think these are cool for the most part. I'm very interested in what this movie's all about because it's just like doesn't really scream like one genre. Maybe not one genre. It's obviously like more of like a sci-fi kind of thing, but it doesn't scream like, let's say, if you're looking at like Star Wars pops, you're like, okay, that's like a Star Wars universe. Or if you're looking at like Lord of the Rings, they're like, that's a Lord of the Rings universe. This is kind of all over the place, and it gets me kind of excited to watch this movie. You said it's a movie, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And hey, if I love the movie, I might end up acquiring these pops. Moving on to the Marvel Collector's Corps glow in the dark pops, I think these are wicked. I mean, there's a little bit of a bias going on there because I love the color purple. It's my favorite color. And I think these are just so awesome. The Star Lord is pretty cool, but I think I'm going to give it to the Black Panther on this one. I think that looks so cool. But I might end up getting both of these if I can get them because I think they are really wicked. And then we have the baseball pop. It's a baseball pop. It's cool for the people that are going to collect those, and that's all I really have to say about that one.
All right, so we're going to move on now to the last 4 Funko Pops for this week. And then obviously we'll talk about the schedule for our podcast for the month of May. So starting off first, announced on April 20th, Funko had finally announced a Funko Shop exclusive that's actually newer instead of their, they've been doing, I think, 3 for $30 sale. And then they did this thing called Hidden Gems, which was kind of like But now finally, Funko has announced more Funko Shop exclusives, in which the first one is the 4th pop in the Pop Around the World lineup, which is Ozzy the Koala for Australia, which, like I said, released April 20th at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST on the Funko Shop. Then we got ourselves here a 10-inch metallic variant of Shenron from Dragon Ball Z, in which this will be exclusive to Funimation, in which this will be available for pre-order now, but is expected to ship out as early as October 2020. Then announced on April 21st, GameStop had announced their own exclusive of Angela with Sprinkles from The Office, in which this will be expected to be released as early as July 2020, but it is available now for pre-order. And last but not least, for today's podcast, for the Ad Icons lineup, it is Woodsy Owl from it's a United States forest. I don't even know the name of it. It goes around the same kind of deal that Smokey the Bear is in, kind of like the whole forest thing. That's
Yeah.
basically what it is. And this figure is flocked, and it will release today, April 22nd, as we record this, at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST, which I realize as we're recording this, it is available now because it's like close to 2:30 right now as we record this, so it's available now. All right, so the Ozzy the Koala Pop for Australia and the Pop Around the World lineup, I think this looks really neat. I love the way the eyes look. And I love the whole outfit that it's wearing because it's kind of wearing kind of like a Steve Irwin crocodile hunter type outfit. And it's wearing these cool boots. Koalas are cool. It's wearing a hat. Even the pin is really nice. I like the pin on this one. This might be actually my favorite around the world pop so far that they've made. Maybe it's like this one, then it's like Barkingham. However, a lot of people did comment. They thought it was very like coincidental that, koalas got some leaves and it was announced on April 20th.
Okay.
I mean, you think what you think, people, but it's not the leaves that you're thinking of. So, overall, like I said, it's a really cool pop. And who knows, maybe if I decide to get more than one around the world pop, which I do plan on getting that eventual Douglas the Beaver for Canada, which I'm predicting right now, it's going to get released in July. Possibly actually Wednesday, July 1st, which is Canada Day. It would make so much sense that they release it that day. Then we got the metallic Shenron. That's a 10-inch pop. I think this is really neat. I don't collect Dragon Ball Z pops at all, and some of them don't really interest me, but this one really interests me. I like the way that even I don't know if I call them Dragon Balls
Yep.
or, yeah, it's the Dragon Balls. Those look really neat with the metallic effect, and the whole body sculpt of Shenron is really neat. This Shenron looks really neat with the color green. I mean, that's what the normal color is, but the green looks really nice in metallic form. The teeth are nice. The little horns it's got, those are nice too. Just everything about this is really nice. And the metallic effect looks wicked on this pop. And it probably would look better than what assuming that they'll make a common version of this 10-inch would look like. And I think this one is really, really cool. Angela with sprinkles. Now, this got leaked a couple days ago by one of the dirt sheet pages. And I was looking at this without even reading at the comments at first, and I was like, why does this look so familiar? Like, it was one of those characters where it's like, man, like, I know this has got to be from something I've seen. I just can't think. And then I scroll down and it says, coming soon, The Office, Angela with sprinkles. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. We're finally getting more characters that aren't Jim, Dwight, and Michael, which I'm not mad that there's a bunch of Jim, Michaels, and Dwights because those are the three main characters. And Jim's like my favorite, along with Dwight, like kind of like a tie there. But new characters I love, and especially this is a perfect pop to introduce Angela in pop form, is her with sprinkles. I think it's very awesome. I'm glad to hear that there's going to be more than what we've gotten so far from the current wave of Office Pops that have yet to be released, which I think they're releasing next month, if I'm not mistaken. And then the last pop, Woodsy Owl, which, like I said, it's kind of like along the same line of ad icon as like Smokey the Bear, where it's kind of like preventing something about like the forest. One of the quotes actually, and it's on the logo on this glam shot, is lend a hand, care for the land. It's cool that they made this flocked because I'm pretty sure people would rather want the flocked version than they would want a common version that's just the normal plastic vinyl. I think by looking at it for the first time, it looks really cool. I love how colorful it is, like with the eyes, the beak, the outfit, and then it's even got what looks to be a whistle, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it looks like to me anyways. Overall, from what I'm looking at for the first time, really cool.
Ozzy, the koala here. This is really cool. And yeah, I was kind of upset that you said that this was your favorite because that's exactly what I was going to say. But it makes sense. This is a really cool pop. And that's funny that people would say that about April 20th. I find that kind of funny, obviously. But yeah, this is a great pop for this series. I can't wait to collect all of these. I do plan on getting all of them because I think it's such a great idea and they're turning out really good. So that's cool. The Shenron. So you said this is a 10-inch pop?
Yeah, it's 10-inch metallic and it's exclusive to Funimation.
So the original Shenrons, were those 6-inch?
Yeah, I think they're a 6-inch.
Oh, okay. So this thing's going to be huge, eh? Jeez. Yeah, this will be the Shenron that I get for my collection then, because I think this is really cool. I love how just the metallic pops, like it really makes those scales look really good, at least from this picture. And like, yeah, I collect Dragon Ball Z pops, so I still need a Shenron, and I think this will be the one that I get. And it makes sense to have it be huge because Shenron is huge. So in comparison to the actual 4-inch Funko Pops, it'll be more accurate to size wise. So yeah, that'll definitely be the one that I add to my collection. Then the Angela with sprinkles. This thing is hilarious. It looks so much like her, and yeah, it's so funny that they added sprinkles. I'm glad they made this pop. It makes so much sense. And then the Woodsy Owl, I don't know anything about this character, which I'm surprised by because I normally do know a lot of these kind of weird little things. And for some reason, I don't know this one. Obviously, you said it's more American based, which it even says in the little description that they have at the bottom there. Yeah, I think this pop looks great. It's so cool that it's flocked too, because like maybe eventually they'll make one that's not flocked. You never know. Just like you said, like the colors, like those oranges really pop on the browns and the darker color green there. And I think this is a really cool pop. If I knew more about this character, I would probably end up getting this. But because I don't really know anything about it, I won't. But that doesn't take anything away from this pop. I think it's amazing.
All right. So now that's going to be the end of this week's Funko Pop announcements. But we're going to talk about the podcast schedule for the month of May, which would show that we actually would have 5 podcasts starting off. So next Friday, May the 1st, the top 10 Funko Pops of April 2020, in which you probably were thinking, why'd you guys not do it today? It's the end of April, like it's the last podcast of April. But it's the fact that if we would have done one today, and then let's say next week we did the update, we'd still be in the month of April. And the month of April wouldn't have finished yet. So then we had to do another update. So we thought, you know what? We'll do it for May 1st. That way we're still in the month of April when we record the podcast for May 1st. And then an update will happen in a couple weeks, because then on May the 8th is going to be a huge podcast, because we have our first special guest that will be on a Funko Podcast on May 8th. If you haven't heard the announcement yet, Friday, May 8th, we have the one, the only Top Pops as our special guest on a Funko Podcast. I'm excited, and I know MD is super excited about this too. That happens 2 weeks from today, or well, not today as we record this, but today as you guys would be listening to this, Top Pops on a Funko Podcast. Friday, May 15th, so the week after that, that's when we would present our segment of the update, in which we'll talk about the remaining Funko Pops of April 2020. We'll do the update and then talk about basically the first half of May 2020's Funko Pop announcements. That's what would happen there. Plus, there's going to be a pretty cool announcement regarding our channel near the end of the month, so stay tuned on May 15th for that. May 22nd will be one of those podcasts where we talk about either a TV show or a movie. We will host a podcast about Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. It's the 40th anniversary happening during that week. We're going to have content on Monday and Wednesday about The Empire Strikes Back, and then a full-on podcast talking about the movie. It's going to be a cool little podcast. Friday, May 29th, which is my birthday, actually, it's going to be the top 10 Funko Pops of May 2020. That's going to happen. We'll basically talk about what would be the last couple of weeks' Funko Pop announcements, because we won't be able to talk about them during the May 22nd podcast, because that'll be the Empire Strikes Back podcast. May 29th will be the top 10 Funko Pops of May 2020. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you're enjoying the content that's being provided to you guys on this channel. Comment in the comments section below on what your favorite Funko Pops were of this week. Did you order the Woodsy Owl? Do you like the Artemis Fowl Pops? Did you get the Target exclusive Star Wars Pops? Let us know in the comments section below. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and other videos we do on this channel in the future. And press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, thank you all for listening to this podcast, and see you guys next week. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in, peace out.